welcome to day 11 of NaNoWriMo. It's been a little bit of a tough day to get those words out. It's really hard not to play the comparison game. Hello, good morning. My name is Nicole and welcome to week 2 of NaNoWriMo, where I am trying to write a 50,000 word novel in the month of November. And so many other people are too this month. It is a worldwide challenge and this is week 2. Welcome, hi. I have left myself about 30 minutes this morning to get some writing in. Hopefully I'll be able to meet maybe half of my word goal for today. I am aiming for the usual 1,667 words. I have my breakfast ready. I've got my matcha here to drink. Let's get out some words. So I got a little distracted during that writing session. Didn't get as many words out as I hoped I would, but I still wrote 650 words, so that's something. I got really stuck on some descriptions I was trying to write. I really wanted this one particular scene to feel very dreamlike and out of place, and then all the descriptive words I could think of were just slipping out of my head, so I'm pretty sure I wrote down multiple times things like, "This view was fantastic," "fantastical," "fantasy." And I've noticed while doing NaNoWriMo, I have a tendency to repeat things that I've just said. Like, I think in an earlier chapter, I wrote something about how back in my hometown, and then the next sentence was something back in my town. And it's okay, it's NaNoWriMo. I'm just trying to get out as many words as possible, but I do have a little laugh at myself each time I notice something like that. And yeah, that's the writing session for this morning. I will do more when I get home from work, but I do have a very long day ahead of me at work. I believe I'm trying to meet a large deadline, so maybe it will be a late night for me at work. And if I don't get to finishing my writing goal today, there's always tomorrow and the weekend to catch up. And that's the update for me this morning. I will check in with you later. Good evening. It is the next day now. After work, I just finished making dinner. It is sitting in the oven. So now it is time to write. I have my tea. Actually, from this morning, I made myself a nice London fog, and then I forgot it on my kitchen counter when I headed out for work this morning. But surprisingly, it is still very nice and toasty warm, so I'm going to enjoy that during my writing session. Last night, I met my word goal, as you saw. I can't believe we are already a quarter of the way through NaNoWriMo. A friend at work today asked me how writing my novel was going, and I told him it was going well, but at the same time it feels weird that I feel like I have already completed a quarter of the challenge and only 2 days have passed in my book. Not even. My characters are kind of in the middle of their second day together. So I feel like things are going quite slowly, and I'm wondering if I've maybe messed up the pacing. But I don't know. We're still very early in on NaNoWriMo. I'm gonna get my words in now while my dinner cooks. I made I don't know what you'd call it. It's like a lasagna, but with zucchinis rolled up in a really cute way. I'm hoping it'll be nice and tasty. It's already smelling good cooking in the oven. But enough from me. Let's write. The timer for my dinner went off, so it is time to stop the writing and eat dinner in about 40 minutes. I've gotten 1,017 words done, which is pretty good. So I'm gonna eat dinner, enjoy that, and probably just get out the last 600-ish words on the couch, and then I'm gonna call it a night. But I'm gonna wrap it up here. I am really enjoying writing this next chapter. I'm having my 2 main characters kind of go about town, and they have stopped into a local bakery to help out for the day. And it's just fun. It's fun getting to write dialogue and to talk about baking. So I'm looking forward to writing the rest of this scene after dinner, but that's probably all for me for tonight. So I will see you again tomorrow. Happy Friday. I just really quickly had to get some words out this morning. I know I said I was writing chronologically as much as I could, but inspiration really hit me this morning when I was out on a morning walk. There was just a scene I really wanted to write. It's very adorable. I didn't get the chance to finish writing it this morning, but I got out 764 words. I wrote longer than I thought I would, so I'm running a little bit behind for work, but that's okay. I have been reading Ali Hazelwood's most recent book, Love Theoretically, and if you've read it, it just has so many great moments, and for all the lovey-dovey parts, I guess if you could call them that, it just made me think about how my two characters are going to interact and approach the beginning of their romantic relationship. So I just had to write a scene where finally we get a moment where my main character is like, I kind of like this girl or woman. I kind of like this lady. I don't know. I feel like it's very sweet. And I'm excited to finish writing it later, but I have to get off to work now. That's my little update for you. Good evening. Just got home from dinner and from picking up my copy of Iron Flame, which I am so excited to read. My friend Natalie and I are going to do a reading session tomorrow. I believe she is almost done the book. I have not started it yet, but I'm going to wait for tomorrow to start it. I also got the first volume of Alice in Borderland. I have read the whole thing online in the past, but since I heard that they were releasing it in print in an English translation, I have jumped on the chance to collect the series, which is still coming out volume by volume, but I am excited to eventually own all of it. And I have 2 new Sunny Angels to add to my big collection of Sunny Angels. I met up with my sister and she was able to pass off the 2. It is very wet and rainy out tonight. I'm feeling a little bit sleepy, but I still have some words to get in, so I'm probably going to settle down on the couch, get my writing in for tonight. I am very excited to jump back into the scene I started this morning though. I've kind of been thinking about it throughout the day. I don't know. It just makes me feel so... It just makes me feel so happy to be able to write my characters in love and not going through suckiness. That's a descriptive word, isn't it? Okay, I'm gonna get my words out and check in with you later. Hello and welcome to day 11 of NaNoWriMo. I'm wearing my NaNoWriMo shirt today. I really want to get my writing just completely out of the way because my friend Natalie is here and we are going to read Iron Flame together, and I'm so excited to start the book. She's just about to finish it, so I'm excited to see her reaction to how it ends. I've been holding off on reading it so we could read together, so I'm gonna get my words out really fast, I hope, and get started on reading the book. I have finished my writing for today, about 1,700 words. Yay! I sped through it. I would talk more about it, but I'm too excited to read, so I'm gonna go read now. Good morning and happy Sunday. It is actually a long weekend for me this weekend, as yesterday was Remembrance Day, so I have the Monday off. Today I woke up this morning and I got in a whole bunch of words. I really just got completely into the zone. Well, that's a lie. I spent about half an hour kind of faffing about trying to get in. I got stuck in the trying to edit my past works. As I've been writing, there have been more ideas coming up in my head that I wanted to throw into the earlier chapters and scenes. So this morning I spent some time kind of just inserting them here and there, and then I kind of got in a little bit of a trap of trying to like organize everything that I've written into chapters, and I had to put a stop to that because you don't get more words by trying to format your work into something that's a little bit cleaner. This is NaNoWriMo, so I have to keep reminding myself that I am not aiming to end up with a perfectly finished project. I am just trying to end up with a 50,000 word manuscript that I can work with going forward. I know yesterday I ran off very quickly because I just wanted to spend time reading Iron Flame with my friend, which I ended up doing, but it was a really nice break to just get involved with the writing. Reading definitely helps me with my writing, reminding me of all the amazing things that a book can make you imagine in your mind, and just getting to see how another person writes. I was talking with my friend because she is also doing NaNoWriMo and we both agreed that reading while you're writing is enjoyable, but at the same time, it's really hard not to play the comparison game. I mentioned earlier that I'm currently reading Ali Hazelwood's latest book, Love Theoretically, and how much I'm enjoying it and her writing style, but also while I'm reading it and enjoying it, I keep having this thought of like, wow, her writing is so amazing and the way she makes everything just so funny in ways that I could not possibly do. It makes me question if my writing is like good enough to put out there or if I should be trying to change my writing voice, because as much as I love her writing, of course, I'm not Ali Hazelwood. I am myself. I am Nicole, and I don't have her same writing style, her same experiences, and I enjoy her books because they are what she's written and the way she writes them. And of course, no one can write the same book as someone else. I don't know if that's making any sense, but as I'm reading, I'm tending to like compare the writing that I'm reading to the writing that I'm doing now. And I'm like, well, my writing sucks and I don't think it'll ever be as good as this, but does it need to be as good as it? I don't know. It's an open-ended question, but I am still going forward with the writing. I got out my words very quickly yesterday. I was just finishing up a scene that I had started and then kind of writing a new scene where my characters were just having a nice, relaxing evening after a busy day together, kind of getting caught up on what is happening with them. It's hard for me to write because at this point in the story, they're really strangers, but I feel like in these circumstances that they've been thrown into, this whole roommate situation and the love interest knowing how my main protagonist's life has just burned down, I guess gives her some kind of sympathy for her. So I feel like they're talking in a very familiar way, but maybe they shouldn't be. I don't know. These are all things that are going on in my head with the writing. Despite all that, I was able to get out about 3,071 words today. At least I believe that's where I left off, which is way more than I was planning to do with all of the messing around I was doing at the start. I was really thinking there was no way I would be able to get out the 1,667 words. But look at me, I ended up doing a lot more. And I think what I wrote, I really enjoyed it. It ended up being my two characters going on a hike in the forest, and my main protagonist hates hiking, at least all the hiking that she has experienced in her life, and with her pretty bad ex-boyfriend, to her hiking is almost like a punishment because you go through it. It is difficult and hard, and it's just some sort of physical activity for you to do because you're going on it with the person that you love who has asked you to go on it. And she initially doesn't want to go on the hike, but the love interest convinced her that no, it'll just be like a chill time, but at the same time, if you don't want to go, you don't have to go, but I promise you, you're not going to suffer through it. And she agrees to go on the hike, and she's having a hard time just getting out of her head, thinking about all of her past experiences with the hikes and then feeling guilty that she's not enjoying the present moment on the hike, and kind of how the love interest helps her work through this issue. And they end up enjoying the hike together. So it was something nice and light to write this morning, I guess, and just with all the other dabbling around, I was able to get up to that 3,000 word mark, which is really great. I only just clued in today that I am past the 20,000 word mark. I'm actually at about like 23,000 words. It feels like this NaNoWriMo is going by very fast and very slow at the same time, and I don't know if this book is going in the way I want it to. I think I've said this before. I feel like maybe it's dragging out, but as I've looked back on what I've written so far, I think the pacing is just meant to be slower. But of course, this isn't the final version of the book. And one thing that I have been slacking on is updating my journal with my word count. I just keep forgetting to do it. If I don't have it sitting out and open like this, it doesn't exist to me. And I have been doing good on updating the website every day, so at least there's that. But I deserve to reach these word goals. Like, look, I only filled out the first day and I've already completed a whole NaNoWriMo vlog. So I need to get this filled out so it's nice and accurate. And then my plans for the rest of the day are to go to a Christmas craft market, hopefully stock up on some Christmas presents, enjoy some time out today, and then maybe some video editing later. So definitely no more writing, and also reading Iron Flame. That's the update for you on this 12th day of November and NaNoWriMo. Monday evening. Just a quick update for you. I've just been busy doing other stuff today, trying to edit a video, getting things done, trying to prepare for the work week, but I still sat down this evening to get in my words. Yesterday, the writing flowed smoothly, and today the writing flowed smoothly after I got into it, but I am kind of feeling a bit lost still, like my story is kind of just dragging out and I'm not really writing what I want to. I don't know, it's been a little bit of a tough day to get those words out and I'm kind of doubting what I've written, but still I should celebrate that I have reached the 25,000 word mark. I am halfway through the word count for NaNoWriMo, but I suspect at the way that I am currently writing my novel, it may end up being longer than 50,000 words, but I guess I will see. I decided to finally light the candle that I bought for NaNoWriMo. It is supposed to give you cozy, comfy feelings, maybe like if you were staying in a nice cabin, because it's got a bit of like a smoky smell, a vanilla smell, and just, I don't know, tree smell. That's the update from me for tonight, just a little quick one because I'm going to go relax for the evening and hopefully tomorrow will be a better writing day. Good morning, happy Tuesday, or I guess it's kind of like a Monday for me because today is a work day. I had yesterday off for the long weekend, and like I said, I very briefly checked in with you, but it was really just a day to catch up on things as much as I could. This morning, I was hoping I would wake up a little bit earlier to get in a bunch of writing, but alas, again, I have only left myself about 15-20 minutes to squeeze in a little bit of writing, but I will take it. I've got my tea here and some breakfast waiting for me for this short little writing session, so I'm gonna get some words in. But something I wanted to mention, which was very encouraging for me to hear this morning while I was doing my little Instagram scroll, I came across a reel which talked about strategies on how you can improve your first draft and how your first draft is really just getting the story out on the page. It doesn't have to be perfect. And once you have your first draft done, you can go back to the original plot outline you set out and you can evaluate whether or not your first draft has met those goals. And then of course you can change it to meet that. And I don't know why, but something about hearing that just clicked in my brain. And once you can see the big picture of the whole story with your outline of how you want it to be, you can go back and change up sentences to give more insight into your characters. So an example of this is that in your first draft you could have a plain sentence like, Mary knew she was going to be late for school. But maybe in your second draft, if you understand Mary's motivations, I don't know, I'm just making this up on the fly. If you understood Mary's motivations for why, you know, being late for school was such a big thing for her, you could spice it up later in a second draft, understanding this, and change it into something like, Mary knew she was going to be late for school and knowing that she would be late for school, Mary worried that this would carry on to her being late for the rest of her life. I don't know, maybe something like that. It sounds more interesting to me. I don't know if I'm explaining it very well, but at least it was comforting for me to hear that, a good reminder of I'm just getting words out on the page. Those words can change at any time in a later draft, and maybe once I have a stronger understanding of what I want the story to be, I can always transform this first draft. Just another morning ramble from me, which is taking away from my writing time. It's okay, I can still squeeze in a couple of words. But without further ado, I need to write. Okay, so definitely not the most productive writing session. I got very distracted. In the middle of writing, I just decided, oh, maybe I should add some more stuff to my plot line and my storyboard so I don't forget it later. And then it got me thinking about whether or not I'm conveying what I want to convey in the story, because I happened to glance at some notes about some character development I want to happen. And recently, with conversations that my characters are having, they feel kind of misplaced at this point in the story. Like, I had my main protagonist pointing out to her love interest some problems she has with how she lives her life, and of course the love interest got defensive, and it was kind of like a, who are you to tell me what I'm doing with my life, miss, your life is out of control. And it's just kind of spiraled, and I'm like, I don't know how to come back from that. They've only known each other for a few days, and then on the flip side, in the day that I'm writing, earlier in the morning, they had a very nice moment together, which I described with the hike. So I'm like, what is going on here? And even after I just talked to you about how I can fix this all in a second draft, I'm just like, I don't know. So I think it'll be something I approach later, come back to. I am just gonna leave it as it is for now. Don't know where I'm really going from here. I was trying to write the part that happens after that conversation, and it just doesn't feel right, but I'm gonna keep pushing forward. I may just reset and go on to writing the next day in the story. But something fun that I wanted to share with you is that last night, before I went to bed, I finally completed my mood board, vision board for my novel, and I like the way it looks, and it's giving me some reminders of what I want to include in the story and kind of the vibe I want it to give. And this year I'm really trying to use Scrivener's features more. So I think in the past I said maybe I was going to make this mood board into like my desktop background, but I learned that I can put this image right in my storyboard and it'll appear right there, and at any time I can click and view it. But anyways, yeah, only 262 words written this morning. I'll have to do some more thinking. We'll see. My commute to work gives me time to think, so maybe I'll try to work it out then, but I guess that's all for me this morning. I am running like 10 minutes behind, but that's okay. I'll still be at work on time. Good morning and welcome to day 15 of NaNoWriMo. We have officially crossed the halfway mark. I know I have reached the 25,000 word goal already, but today's the 15th. We are halfway through the month, halfway through NaNoWriMo. I can't believe there are only roughly 2 weeks left in the challenge. I feel like this NaNoWriMo has really gone by very quickly, and while it hasn't been easy, I don't remember last year's NaNoWriMo going by as quickly as this one. This morning I was busy out at my exercise class, so I don't think there will be any writing this morning. I'll probably end up doing it all tonight. I am not the biggest fan of exercise. It is a new habit I'm trying to form, but a benefit of it, especially when I am walking on a treadmill or just walking outside in general, is that it gives my mind space to wander and to work through things, whether it is plot related things or life related things. Ideas tend to come easier to me, especially if there's music going on, and today I got in the zone. My mind was just wandering while my body was doing its thing, and I think I've kind of realized that I've made a bit of a mess of my manuscript. I have gotten lost along the way trying to write all these different moments in my story with my characters, And I feel like I've kind of lost the whole point of my plot, which I talked a bit about yesterday, but definitely as I was thinking about it yesterday on my commutes to and from work, and then this morning, I really clued into the fact that I definitely need to convey my characters' wants better. Just asking myself, what do they want? What are they trying to get out of the course of their story, at least their story in terms of what's happening in the novel? And I think I've come up with something, which makes me feel more positive about it, but at the same time I'm like, oh, okay, then what was the point of everything I've already written? As you know from my ramble yesterday, I think I can change it all in a later draft. Definitely not gonna go back and rewrite anything during NaNoWriMo, but I've already kind of been thinking of ways I can include this into my story. And I know there's a lot of different conflicts going on all the time, but I feel like there's no sort of overarching goal my characters are reaching for, which I know they don't really have to, but I guess what I'm trying to say is things were kind of bland and I'm feeling a little bit directionless, but after today, I think I have more of an idea of where I'm going. So hopefully for the last half of the 50,000 words, I will be able to incorporate all of that. But at the same time, I don't know if my actual story will be finished, but at least I will have 50,000 words of it done. And I realized that I told you that I was going to a Christmas market to get Christmas gifts, and then I didn't talk any more about it. At least I don't think I did. But I wanted to share that I got this really fun sticker that says fueled by tea and plot twists, and I am definitely a writer that is fueled by tea. I like to have my tea when I can when I'm writing, and maybe I don't write a lot of plot twists, but I thought it was cute anyways. So that's that. I think I'm just going to enjoy my breakfast this morning, write down a couple of thoughts that I have into Scrivener. No actual writing, just putting it out there so I can incorporate it later tonight. But I think that's where I'm going to end off this vlog. It has been a little bit over a full week. We are past the halfway point of NaNoWriMo. We are into the last half of the challenge. And I'm looking forward to it. Of course, I am nervous because I do feel like I'm not sure what I'm doing with my book, but I'm going to keep pushing ahead and hopefully it'll end up somewhere where I want it to. And I will give you the final word count of the week here. I'm not sure what I have reached, but the number will be floating here. Thank you so much for joining me on another week of NaNoWriMo. And I know my vlogs haven't been coming out very quickly. I'm sure you know, it's a struggle for me maintaining work life, writing life, and life in general, and then on top of that, trying to get out a video. But if you're here, thank you so much. And I would really appreciate it if you left me a like to let me know you enjoyed this video. And if you want to leave me a comment, go ahead and put a little book emoji down below, or tell me what your current word count is for NaNoWriMo. And if you're doing NaNoWriMo, feel free to update me down in the comments below. But if not, let me know how your November is going. I hope you are having a very lovely month. And that's all for me, I suppose. I'm going to continue vlogging the rest of this NaNoWriMo journey, so please subscribe if you're not already subscribed so you can be notified when I put out a new video, whenever that is. Yeah, thank you for being here, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.